Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to 9 Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. How Women Rise by Sally Helgesen explores why capable, hardworking women sometimes stall at the point where their experience and results should translate into bigger roles. Building on Helgesen's long-standing work in women's leadership development, the book focuses on behavioral patterns that can quietly undermine authority, visibility, and perceived readiness for senior positions. Rather than framing the issue as a lack of ambition or skill, it highlights everyday habits that often formed as successful survival strategies earlier in a career, but become limiting as stakes rise and expectations shift. The approach is practical and action-oriented, emphasizing self-awareness, feedback, and small but meaningful changes in communication, relationship management, and how credit and power are handled. It also acknowledges workplace dynamics that shape how women are evaluated, helping readers identify where they can influence outcomes without pretending the system is always fair. The result is a career-focused guide designed to support women aiming for raises, promotions, or strategic job moves. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, recognizing habits that undermine advancement. A central contribution of the book is its focus on habits rather than personality traits. It frames many common behaviors as learned responses that helped women excel earlier, especially in roles where being dependable, accommodating, and detail-driven earned praise. As careers progress, those same behaviors can be misread as hesitancy, lack of strategic perspective, or insufficient leadership presence. The book encourages readers to look for repeating patterns in meetings, performance reviews, and informal feedback. Then connect those patterns to outcomes such as being overlooked for stretch assignments or being perceived as not quite ready. This topic also highlights how habits can be reinforced by workplace norms, including expectations around likability and tone. The value is in naming the invisible, the small ways someone might reduce their influence, for example by over-explaining, over-delivering without visibility, or defaulting to support roles in group settings. By treating these patterns as adjustable behaviors, the book makes change feel achievable. The overall aim is to help readers shift from doing excellent work to being recognized as leaders whose impact warrants greater authority and reward. Secondly, visibility, credit, and strategic self-advocacy. Another key theme is the difference between contributing and being seen as a driver of results. The book addresses how women may hesitate to claim credit, assume others will notice their efforts, or prioritize team harmony over clear authorship of ideas. While collaboration matters, promotions and high-impact opportunities often go to people who are strongly associated with outcomes and who communicate their value in a credible way. This topic explores how readers can increase visibility without sounding self-centered, such as by linking work to organizational priorities, documenting impact, and speaking with clarity about decisions and results. It also looks at the risks of habits like preemptive disclaimers, excessive humility, or waiting for perfect information before speaking. The book promotes a more strategic approach, choosing moments to highlight wins, ensuring key stakeholders understand contributions, and practicing language that signals ownership and leadership. By reframing self-advocacy as a responsibility to the work and the organization, it helps readers move past discomfort and build a reputation that supports raises, promotions, and lateral moves into more influential roles. Thirdly, communication patterns that shape executive presence. The book places significant emphasis on how communication is interpreted, especially at higher levels where time is limited and leaders are expected to be concise, decisive, and outward-facing. It examines habits that can dilute authority, including overqualifying statements, speaking in a way that invites unnecessary debate, or focusing heavily on process when the audience wants conclusions and implications. This topic is not about adopting a rigid style, it is about aligning communication with leadership expectations. Readers are encouraged to notice when they default to carefulness over clarity, or when they soften statements to avoid seeming too direct. The book also addresses how women can be penalized both for being too tentative and for being too forceful, making it important to choose approaches that are firm but respectful. Practical shifts include leading with the main point, making clear recommendations, and using confident framing when presenting data or updates. Over time, these adjustments can change how others perceive readiness for senior roles. Strong communication becomes a lever for influence, enabling readers to shape decisions rather than only support them. Fourthly, relationships, networks, and the politics of opportunity. Advancement is rarely only about performance. It is also shaped by sponsorship, informal advocacy, and access to decision-makers. The book discusses how women may invest heavily in relationships that feel comfortable or nurturing while neglecting broader networks that connect to power and opportunity. This topic focuses on building relationships with intention, including identifying who influences promotions, who controls high-visibility projects, and who can sponsor career moves. It also encourages readers to view networking as a professional practice rather than a transactional activity or a popularity contest. The discussion highlights the difference between mentors who advise and sponsors who actively open doors, and it prompts readers to cultivate both. Another aspect is navigating office politics ethically, recognizing that politics is often simply the process of aligning stakeholders and priorities. By learning to engage this reality rather than avoid it, readers can position themselves for roles where they can lead and make change. The result is a more resilient career strategy, one that does not rely solely on being indispensable, but on being connected, endorsed, and strategically placed. Lastly, replacing limiting habits with sustainable leadership behaviors. Beyond identification, the book emphasizes behavior change that can be sustained under pressure. It encourages readers to select a small number of high-impact habits to work on, gather feedback, and practice new responses in real situations. This topic highlights the importance of self-awareness paired with experimentation, noticing triggers such as conflict, high-stakes meetings, or performance evaluations, and then choosing a different approach. It also recognizes that changing habits can feel risky, particularly for women who have been rewarded for being reliable, accommodating, or perfectionistic. The book's lens is pragmatic. Progress matters more than overnight transformation. Readers are guided to set boundaries, delegate more effectively, and prioritize work that signals leadership rather than only competence. Another critical component is resilience, including how to handle setbacks without reverting to old patterns. By treating leadership growth as iterative, the book helps readers build a personal playbook for advancement. The aim is to create a stronger match between how a woman sees herself and how others experience her leadership, increasing the likelihood of the next raise, promotion, or role expansion. In conclusion, this book is best suited for women in professional roles who are already delivering strong results but feel stuck at the threshold between being valued as a high performer and being chosen as a leader. It is also useful for managers, mentors, and HR partners who want a concrete framework for coaching without relying on vague advice about confidence or executive presence. The benefit to a reader's life is practical. It helps translate effort into recognition by pinpointing behaviors that can quietly reduce influence, then offering achievable shifts in communication, self-advocacy, and relationship building. These changes can improve not only career outcomes but also day-to-day work satisfaction by reducing overwork, resentment, and the feeling of being overlooked. Compared to similar leadership books, its worth comes from specificity and focus. Instead of broad inspiration, it organizes common patterns into clear habits and treats them as changeable, making it easier to diagnose what is happening and what to do next. For readers aiming at a raise, promotion, or strategic job move, it offers a structured way to align performance, visibility, and leadership perception in the environments where decisions are made. If you would like to support Sally Helgesen, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.